I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. All it is, living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north are rich.
Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
Steve, how's it going?
Pretty good, Tim. I haven't seen you in a few months.
Well, I haven't done a show since, what, June something or other?
Yeah, it's early June, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. And so I finally finished the job at the school, which was pretty much why we didn't do show multiple times a week or even once a week, because I had a heart and get that done. Yeah, our last show, this is a month ago. No, don't sound. I was hoping to have the date on it. Yeah, June 17th. So, yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, so finally finished that Friday of last week. Yeah, Friday, I think it was. And
I got back in town on Sunday.
I know, you were gone for 2 weeks. You brought Zeta to college.
Yeah.
And spent some time in Colorado with your brother.
Yeah, they had an amazing house that they had built out there. It's beautiful.
We, so it's just been, I have so much to do still, like, around my house. Like, I haven't had any time to do much. Like, I've almost finished my porch or deck, or I don't know what you want to call it, but it's I don't know. You call it, it's got a roof. Porch?
I'll call that a back porch.
Back porch? That's what I'm thinking. You know, it's
a deck and a porch combined.
It's got a roof over a deck, basically.
Yeah.
But I put an outdoor kitchen in, which I was most excited about. And finally, my girl's supposed to show up today, even though, like, 3 weeks ago it showed up, but we were on vacation. We were in Pittsburgh because we go to Pittsburgh for a week every year. And we're up there, and her mom and my Uncle Bill came to stay, like, to help feed the animals and stuff. And so he was there, and she called. She's like, so the grill's here that you ordered, that was expensive grill. It was like $2,600, but I bought like a commercial grill from Webb Restaurant that's like is 60 inches wide. So half of it's a griddle, which can come off, and then the other half, is a grill. Because we have a lot of people over and stuff at times, and so I want a nice.
Want to make some smash burgers,
yeah,
some pancakes, keep the house cool in the summer. I got it.
So my mother-in-law's like, so it's here, but I'm going to refuse shipment because the box looks like it's gotten run over by a bulldozer. And even the delivery guy's like, yeah, I wouldn't accept this. I'm thinking, why is it here? Why didn't you call the company yourself and say, hey, we just got this thing and it is smoked. So finally, now weeks later, it's finally supposed to be here today. And hopefully it shows up in one piece and I can find my girl. I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? So I keep going to Webb Restaurant, and Andrea's like, what are you doing? Like, you're over on Sunday. I got a bowl. I'm not kidding. It's like this big around.
Yeah, you could fit a small cow in there.
I got 2 bowls. The first one would have been perfect. It was a big, I don't know. I used to have one at the market before we had the fire there that I do meatballs in. It was great, but this one you could do like a salad for 50 people in or something.
It's big.
It's big. It's like
you take a shower in it or a bath.
Yeah. And then I ordered I ordered a commercial sink for outside, which I won't be able to use obviously in the winter and stuff, but I can use it, when it's warm, and that way I can wash like the grill grates and all that stuff in there. And even that I kind of went overboard when I bought it. It's 24. Like if you're standing at it this way by 36, and then it's like 18 inches deep, something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, you can take a bath in that thing. It's huge. I'm like, probably shouldn't have gone quite so big, but yeah, whatever. So I'm excited to get that hopefully going. And then the ice maker that we've had for like 2 years now in a box, I finally took it out of the box. It's a smaller one, but like we use a lot of ice. Like we like cold water, so I don't want to buy ice. So we I got to hook that up. It's sitting out there and on the porch ready to go. So, but yeah, we're getting there with that. And big thing is the school stuff. I finally finished that. That was just a lot, like to take basically 3 classrooms and turn them into, I have, walls for like partitions, and then I made 6 cubicles, an office, a swing room, a full, like a bathroom that we tiled the whole bathroom, which I kind of got over my head a little bit with that, thinking, hey, we'll just tile it. And I mean, I used 12-inch by 24-inch tile, but it took a while. Like, Lydia did most of the grouting in that bathroom, and then I had an issue with the adhesive. It didn't want to set on some of them, and I had to take the tiles back up and do it again, and like there was a few little hiccups, and I was like, are you kidding me? But finally we got it all done. School starts this week. I'm done with all that stuff. Got the grease strap done, which that was another nightmare. That should have been like 2 days. And they usually, you got the concrete around the grease strap, you take that out, pull the grease strap out, and whatever. These people, this would be back like in the 50s probably when that kitchen was put in. They cemented the bottom of the grease trap in. So I'm in there with a 6-foot bar. I'm like jumping up and down on it. I mean, I weigh 230, and it's not moving. The bar is just kind of flexing. And I'm talking like a big bar. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So to make the floor, like cut it, like go wider with it. And then I get it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They put concrete in the bottom. So I like break around that to finally get it to come out. And what a nightmare. I was cussing and swearing, I can tell you right there. I was not happy. I was texting Rodney. I'm like, this freaking grease trap, like, blah. But it's done. So
It was solidly built back in the old days.
yeah, I mean, it was a shape I never even recognized. Like, most of them are rectangular. This thing was like, one side was like rectangular, the other side was like, I don't know, like a triangle. It was just weird. It was very weird, but it was old. It was original to the building or whatever. So, but anyways, we did all that, got all that done. Yeah, I mean, that's been like the update from, my trailer. I can update everyone on that. So huge shout out to the Newport Police Department, because they like went above and beyond for me on the trailer. So I got the trailer back. Unfortunately, it was pretty much destroyed. They hit something. I don't know what it was. Like if it was
Tree branch.
something, yeah. They pushed like the top corner. It's like a V-nose. The driver's corner was like pushed back like 2 feet. So I had to go out to Cavendish to Prospect Piper State Forest or something, way up in the middle of nowhere. State police found it out there. I pick it up, and as I was coming back down at the bottom, there was a house, and the people were like, oh, you couldn't make it through because they had all that flooding over there. And I'm like, no. I said, this is stolen. I just got it back. She's like, are you kidding me? She's like, I saw that go up there this morning. I'm like, really? So the husband's like, oh, we got cameras. I'll go check. And sure enough, he showed me a different black truck brought that up there. And at the same time, our SO, but I think he's a detective too, but Bodette and Marvin, Detective Marvin, were in Randolph, Sharon Randolph right there, getting a search warrant for a place that they had a lead on or whatever. So I got about like a bunch of my pipes and stuff back, but like my expensive, like my Pro Press, that I didn't get that long gone. And I got a few things back, but those guys really, really put the extra time and effort into, and they actually, Marvin went back the next day and they executed a search warrant on a storage unit in Killington and found like $100,000 worth of stolen stuff, like a brand new snowmobile, like all this stuff that, so now here's the ironic thing. Now, when I say the police chase from Claremont to Newport, I got to even clarify more, because normally you think around here, if I said police chase, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Now it's like, which one? Because it seems to happen a lot. Like, I don't understand what the hell's going on. But so these guys are at McDonald's or something, and they went to pull them over or whatever. They went to outrun the cops, and then they finally got stopped in Newport. That asshole, Joseph Crawford, I believe his name was, he's the one that stole my trailer. And so he
Allegedly.
was... Nope, they got him on video. No, allegedly. So this dude... So Bodette calls me. He's like, good news and bad news. I'm like, all right. Well, he's like, the good news is the guy's already in jail. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he was arrested last Thursday. So I believe it was the Windsor County Sheriff's Department, which another huge thank you to them. And there was multiple people, like different agencies, Vermont State Police, and a lot of different, help with this. But they're like, yeah, we just executed a search warrant on this guy's phone, and that trailer you're looking for is on this phone, which is kind of what started to loop all these things together. And this guy was a huge criminal. He's looking at a long time in jail. And everyone's like, well, he probably get a slap on the wrist, but I don't think he will, because he had the DEA was after him. He had something with the FBI. He was making fake inspection stickers in Vermont and fake plates, and he was stealing lots of things, and he was selling drugs. It was just this huge. He outran the cops.
Long list of allegations.
Long list of allegations and charges and all that stuff. And so, the good news is he should go to jail, and I shouldn't have to worry about that part, because I was worried that someone would just completely get away with it. A buddy of mine's trailer was sold a few years back, and
Nothing.
They never, nothing. And that's more, discouraging. And it sucks I didn't have insurance on it, because my wife had just had the baby. We just got the trailer, and it was sitting at the school. It wasn't even going anywhere. I drove it back and forth to Claremont a few times to Home Depot, whatever, and that's it. And it just been sitting there, and it was locked, but didn't matter, these people. And yeah, so I haven't heard anything else about any of the other stuff, because they were trying to track down some other leads on some other stuff. But it was crazy that...
Did they get the girl or the woman?
They knew who it is. I'm not sure if they arrested her for that, or because he said they were going to charge her. She clearly knew. And if you watch the video, it's
she got out and helped move the chalk block.
Yeah, threw it in the truck, the whole... Yeah, it was interesting. But so I can tell you right now, if you're anyone out there that does work and at customers' houses or whatever, and you want to leave something there, I don't recommend it. Or if you do leave a trail there, you want one of those ball ones that they clamp over it. They're a lot harder to cut, and I would suggest putting an Apple AirTag in it, because I'm going to put GPS things and everything, because then it moves. Then you can instantly call the police and say, someone stole my trailer and it's right here right now. A tough lesson for me to learn, and I had it locked. I was prepared for that, but not to the level of these criminals.
And to do it while people are playing basketball.
7 o'clock in the afternoon.
70 yards away from them, and they're just
crazy.
sat there scoping it out, and I guess they timed it just right.
Yeah, just
bold.
Crazy. So yeah, that's my update on that. And I've been on a selectman meeting for a while, and just I'm on publicly, and I was like, I can just do it on the show now. But I was gonna go yesterday, but I was at the school. Rodney's like, hey, can you do this? It started out as just snaking an ice maker drain, because the ice maker they put in last year for sports to have ice for the teams for their coolers and stuff, the drain stopped working. So I was like, yeah. So I sent Corey and Amelia down first, and he's like, nah, this snake won't go around it. And we had a different one at the house. So then it finally, Tommy went back, did it. It's I don't know if it's a T or if it's raw. I don't know. Something just, you can't do it. I was like, all right. It's I'll crawl in it. It's under the gym floor, or under the gym stage. So I was like, all right, I'll crawl into there myself, and I'll look. And so I did, and there's a pipe right next to it, cast pipe. And I was like, you just tie it in there. We can bypass all that. And it took 2 hours, roughly 15 brand new Sawzall blades, in 5 batteries, to cut through two cuts in a 6-inch cast pipe, which actually ended up being 5-inch, because I went to put 6-inch in there. I'm like, this doesn't seem to work right. But I couldn't believe how long it took. It was something that should have been quick and easy. And yeah, so the good news is, though, they can turn the ice maker on now and finally get that working again. But I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me.
So, but we never found the blockage under there. What caused that?
Nah, it's right next to it. It must tie in. My guess is it's a weird connection. It's because it used to be a water fountain in the gym a long time ago, and they just tied into that drain, thinking it worked before, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't work. So I found another drain down there that I was like, hey, we can just tie it into this and it'll work. And so that should be good with that. But I went back, and I brought 4 batteries with me, fully charged. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I went over and because I was using maintenance, they have a battery operated light. And I was like, you know, battery or two I can borrow. I was like, I smoked through 4 batteries already, and it's like, holy cow! So give me one of those 12 batteries, which are like $300, and I use them for some sort of pack they got. I don't know if it's a vac pack or something. I don't know. And he's like, oh, I know you got, because I always joke about this. Like, every time I have a school board meeting, I see one out there. I was like, really want that battery, you know? And I'm obviously joking with him, you know, and because I'm too cheap to buy a $300 battery, which at some point maybe I will. And I said, and I've joked enough with him now that I told him eventually when I buy one, I'll take a picture of it and send it to you so that you can see that I actually bought one. But it took almost all that battery to finally get through there. Of course, I'm almost done with the cut on the last piece, and the light died, the battery. I crawl back out, my hands and knees, walk out there, it was quite the day. So that's why I didn't go to the selectmen's meeting last night. But so we went to the selectmen's meeting last night to ask for, we want to put a, what did we figure, 10 by 30? Is that what? Yeah, 10 by 30, like addition on the bus barn, DPW building for an office, like break room, so that our staff have a place for clocking in, trainings, and whatever.
Counseling if they're needed.
Yep, any of those things. And then Caleb would have an office, and because obviously currently it's just like a little shacky thing inside there
That needs to be demolished.
Yeah. So I just want to publicly say I was very impressed with, like I said, I didn't go. I was just beat from yesterday. I'm like, you know what? You guys can handle it. It's all good. But it seemed so different now that Hunter, which we haven't had a show since then, but they finally got rid of Hunter. Thank God. And that's awesome. About time. But Paul Brown's interim town manager. I honestly, personally wish Paul would just take the position for a few years because he's good at it. He's really good. He's a Newporter. He's just like,
Yeah,
gets stuff done.
he approaches things
Yeah.
commonsensical. You know, like I said before, Hunter is a bureaucrat's bureaucrat.
Yeah.
And where Paul is not, I mean, he's a bureaucrat because he works for the government or whatever, but he understands what it means to be uniquely Newport.
Yeah.
And you see that in the way that he just talks and answers questions and solves problems. And
He's a problem solver.
Yeah.
You know, he's a finance guy too, so he's always trying to, you know,
yeah, he's
make things
knowledgeable
work. And yeah.
And I think it's more of a, I mean, he's one of us. And so every decision he makes affects him. And so I think that there's something to be said for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I told him, I was like, oh, you should keep it. He's like, no, this is his like third bout of being the interim manager, and because he's set to retire, I think within the next year or so as, you know, a finance guy, so then we'll need a new finance guy, and we've been so fortunate to have Paul these years. We're going to need another really solid one, and so big transition for the town. Like I believe he's the finance guy, which he's always been. He's interim town manager. He's the head of the DPW. And we didn't have a water sewer superintendent for a while, which Joe Branch, I believe, took that position, which I was super happy for because Joe's worked in town for, I think, 12 years now. He's good, and he's perfect. Like, good idea.
I know Joe.
Yeah.
One of the first guys I ever met in town.
It's actually Joe. It's actually...
Oh, is it his?
It's his nephew.
Oh.
Yep.
So I don't know that Joe.
You don't know that Joe, but...
I know the older Joe.
Yes. But, so it's tough, like, big transition, a lot of openings and all this, but this is where we need to be. Like, we're almost at a rebuild, right? So now you build it up and build it how you want to be and how it should be. You shouldn't have people quitting because of, you know, oh yeah, this head of the DPW was doing this every day and made our life hell, and that's why we weren't here, or the town manager, which was more often the story you'd hear in town, or whatever.
There were allegations.
Oh, the allegations are insane. Like, and it was tolerated for way, way too long, and now we're past that. And like, I really want to get online and like bitch about the water leak in Sunapee Street that's been there for so long. But I was like, you know what, though?
I think they fixed it yesterday.
They did. United did a great job. They were in and out. I think they were there at 6 a.m. and I think they were gone by like 1 o'clock, done. And they had it fixed by like 10. It was just putting
I feel
the road
like some
back
of
and
these
stuff.
things could have been fixed underneath emergency work orders instead of a month later. We're still.
And the only reason I didn't go online and bitch about it is because it was right in that period where Hunter was gone, Paul was taking over everything to try to keep things going. And so I was like, you know what? To be fair to them, to Paul and to this, staff that we had and stuff, there's a lot going on right now, and I do believe that was a high priority. But then we've had flooding, and so there's been a lot going on.
Continued to flood since the first flood that destroyed a lot of stuff.
Sand Hill washed out like 3 times, So I was like, no, I'm not gonna go on and complain. But I did want to say that like United did an awesome job. Because originally I had heard that July 5th Stevens was going to go in and fix it. I was joking with one of the town guys. I'm like, well, I don't know about that because him and Stevens or whatever. And it's supposed to be on the 5th. I don't know what happened the 2 weeks or week period since then, and then almost 2 months later it finally gets fixed. And United fixed it, which honestly at the end of the day I don't give a crap who fixes it. Just fix it. Like go fix it. I don't care if it's United, if it's Stevens, I don't care who it is. I don't care.
Yeah,
fix it. That's all I want. Yeah,
nothing for or against any business.
Absolutely. So, but they fixed that yesterday, and that's great to see. And
I'm obviously for local businesses, right? Like I'd like to employ Newporters, then Claremont, Sunapee. Work our way out.
I would very much
keep
rather
our tax dollars within our town so that it benefits us. This is my personal
I would rather spend a couple bucks more to have a local company like Stevens or United do it or whoever do it versus having, this company's coming out of Manchester to come here. Like, they got no ties to us. They don't give a crap.
They don't care about
right. But United's gonna drive by that every day, and if there's an issue, they're gonna be like, well, that doesn't look good for us. We need to do the best job we can do. Where someone from out of the area is, whatever, I got paid. See ya.
I'm paving it and I'm out.
Yeah. So I was glad to see that they got that fixed, and that had been a nightmare job because that leaked so long. Like I've hit water lines before accidentally and then had to fix them the same day, an hour later, and it sucks because it's so wet. That thing was leaking for at least 3 months because.
Yeah, I think they said it went to an old abandoned house that's not even there anymore. The house was demolished, and so they just were able to turn it off.
Yeah, which is weird. So someone back at that point didn't do what they should have done.
When they demolished the house.
Yeah, they should have.
They should have cut off the water line, right? You would think.
Yeah, which there should be a curb there somewhere, but they must have something happened. But whatever, it's fixed now. That's the bonus. But no, I was just impressed with they gave us the okay for the addition thing. We got to finish the lease paperwork stuff, which they said by next meeting they were going to have done for us. But they gave us the verbal, we're going to agree that you can do this so we can get the plans and stuff. To
at least start, not waste the money of getting a design from an engineer. So it looks like everything's going to work out.
So I was very happy about that. And I know I've been very critical of the selectmen and obviously some particular individuals too on the select board. But at the same time, to be fair with everything, last night I feel like the way that meeting went for the most part, like that show, especially when it pertains to school, that's how it should go. And I think you can kind of see the influence difference of Paul Brown in the board and Hunter. And you could just tell because like Paul's just easy going. If Paul could have just said, go ahead and do it, I'm sure Paul would have been like, that's fine. Go, like, it's not going to hurt us. It's going to benefit us eventually because eventually if the school's not in there anymore, the town's getting an office there, that area, they didn't have to pay for it, right? It's just, so I was happy to see that, and I think that's great. And, I think we're at the point now, right? Just keep moving forward, making our town better. Apple Pie Craft Fair was last Saturday. I drove through town. Holy cow. I'm glad.
The school had all kinds of things set up. The school's really going out of its way to try to integrate and welcome parents because it's a team effort, right? Parents are parents, guardians are the guardians, but teachers are with our students 8-9 hours a day, sometimes longer if they're on field trips or sporting events. And so it's important to have that. And I really like the way the superintendent is trying to get the town and the parents to interact a lot more.
I feel like this year, and this is really my second year of, last year I was on the school board going into it as the fill-in or whatever, and then elected this past March or whatever. But I feel the school itself is in a much, much better spot. And I feel like going into it this year, I feel much more positive about how it's going to go. And you could kind of tell that with Mrs. Ferrigno when she spoke at the last meeting. She's like, there's optimism, there's energy in the staff and the teachers and the pairs and all this. And so I feel very hopeful that it's going to be a much, much better year. Last year we had like 14 openings for pairs that we couldn't fill. And I think this year, we're at like 2 that we need to fill.
Yeah, it's impressive. I was at the welcome back this morning, and the gym was full.
Real quick, that's a thank you to our community, our town that voted in support of that contract. It was a 1-year contract, so like we're going to be heading into budget season again soon here this fall. And but that's a thank you to the community that voted and approved it, because they obviously see the value in education and everything. And yeah, you went this morning to like a welcome back thing for the teachers.
Yeah. Handed out years of service pins. I think we went all the way up to 25 years today.
Nice.
So that was good. Donna, the superintendent, she made some short comments, but really she also focused and asked the teachers to work on that relationship with the parents, so that the first phone call you get is not a negative phone call, to make sure that we're acknowledging and recognizing the good things, because it's anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to wait a second, what is my eulogy, but if you have a relationship where you understand that they see the good, unfortunately, along with the bad, at least you know that there's some fairness, and that helps build a relationship so that the parent trusts that the teacher is making a valid observation and not targeting your kid. Because sometimes parents are, assume that well, my kid didn't do anything wrong, and I don't even know who you are. You've been teaching them for 6 months, and now you're calling me up telling me that my kid caused a problem yesterday. And so, Donna's trying to prevent that. And so that was part of her opening comments. And I felt good in there. I didn't feel like anybody was like, oh, I'm back at work at 8 o'clock. I felt there was an energy, and it was just awesome. The Rotary Club handed out some mini grants. So there were 3 teachers / groups of teachers that are putting on projects that the Rotary Club was providing the money for. And then Mrs. Benoit had a proposal in for like a snack closet. That didn't get approved, but I think one of the local food pantries is going to try to work together so that they can have a closet with snacks for the kids who might need some snacks to take home with them. Oh, so, sure. It just really, even the ones that didn't get accepted, you know what I mean? So the teachers are putting in, they're thinking outside the box, and they're trying to be good community partners, even if it sometimes for some parents doesn't come across that way. The feeling that I got, the tone that was said is, let's do this as a team. Let's improve our standards. Let's make sure we're communicating. Let's make sure we're consistent, so that breeds trust. And I really think that the school is going to continue to work to rebuild the trust between parents, because it's kind of obvious with some parents that they just don't trust the school, or they don't care in a certain sense about kids' behavior or grades, and we're really trying to change that so that Newport goes from a school in need at the elementary school to hopefully I don't know the name of it, but a top tier school.
A solid school, a good school that I'm sick of people saying, oh, that's Newport, you went to Newport. I'm like, I'm proud I went to Newport. I'm glad I went to Newport.
Newport's got some, there's always some warts that you got to take care of, but there are a lot of positive things about Newport.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that doesn't happen in other communities happens in Newport. So back to that snack closet thing, we'll have to reach out to Ms. Benoit, because we can make that happen, no problem. I know Beard Sewer and Drain would give some money, and I'm sure Twin State Paving would, and I can make this happen, snap of a finger. So it's good, though. You mentioned it, now I know, and we can make this happen. And because that's the community we live in. Call Sean Carroll up right now and be like, hey, we need this for this. And I guarantee, it's just going to happen. I could, call up LaValle, Brian, I need this for this, or whatever. And it just happens.
Yeah, we have a lot of
we're very, very fortunate.
Generous people in Newport, businesses. And I tried to point that out last night, because I think it was Mr. Minich had said, like, hey, we got all these donations coming in for the community center. What about for the school? And I just want to say thank you to all the businesses and individuals who have helped us with the CTE, because we do have donations coming in for the school. So I don't want the town to think that we're not getting just as much charity and positive reinforcement from our local business owners and individuals. So I greatly appreciate it on an individual level.
And that plan's going forward. We got the building permit for the ag building now. They've been there all summer doing
break ground here, I think, in next week maybe.
I think it was soon. Yeah, I mean they've been there all summer working and making changes and
I think we want to do like an actual groundbreaking ceremony.
Yes, Donna said she wanted to do the groundbreaking ceremony, like you put the shovel in the ground, and then a ribbon cutting when it's done, which we as a board were like, yeah, absolutely, I think it's a great idea. And I was actually in the welding shop yesterday looking at something for them, and it looks really nice. Like the floor is all redone. Like it looks good. They've come a long ways, and I'm sure there's still a huge amount to do. You would know a little bit more than me because that's your oversight on that. It's been you're directly involved with it.
They're working hard, and I mean we're going to have great facilities for our students, especially on the career and technical side. It's top-notch training,
and CT is so important.
It is. I wish I had the access to the types of things, because my CTE, I think, was basically just ag and drafting. That's all I remember being offered.
I mean, when I was there, it was, ag / forestry. There was auto. There was cosmetology. Then like a health class.
They had cosmetology, but that was mostly.
And then like girls. You go to Claremont, you could do like plumbing, heating, machine tool, culinary, building trades, whatever. But since then, the amount of program, like welding is now a CTE program, and you can make huge money being a welder.
We had the teaching program coming in so that like graduates can become paras basically when they're done with their high school. They can go and
you can get your EMT while in school now. Like
Adriano did that.
Yeah. Timmy
Frass set him up.
Year.
Now he's getting college paid for, right?
Yeah, he's working for Alice Pecte. He just finished his LNA like a month ago, and now he's going on to the next thing. And he finally wised up because we're like, if you just go work at these places, they'll pay for your education instead of you paying for it. And he's finally, okay. But you know how that works. Kids
they got to find their own
path, which is fine. At the end of the day,
we were the same way.
We
were told all kinds. We're still told things, and we're like, I'll figure that out on my own.
That's true. So I mean, there's kind of the update. I mean, now that I'm not so busy and stuff, we want to do shows, at least 1 or 2 shows a week, just to go over like lots of other things. There's other things happening in town. There's other things happening.
We got football season starting up.
Yeah, it's football. The girls field hockey played yesterday. I believe it was against Hopkinton at home, and they won 3-2. So that was great job, girls. When I was working on the stage cheer practices started, and I was like, wow, there's like maybe 15 girls. I don't know, there's more girls than I had seen in the past.
Yeah, last year was the first year I noticed that like we had a good cheer squad.
I can tell you all why that happened, but
I can make assumptions.
Yes. Soccer. Lydia's doing soccer this year, and of course she's already hurt herself, so hopefully she'll get to go back this week. But twisted her.
She needs to do some stretching, some active warm up. I don't know.
Not the ankle she broke, the other one. She sprained it pretty good. But I think she said like 25 girls were signed up for soccer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's like great. Because a lot of times Newport have like 12, and you need 11 to play. And I don't know if you know much about soccer, but there's a lot of running.
About 5 to 7 miles if you're playing properly.
Yeah. So that's great for us because you need people that can switch out. And so that's good. And now, coming in the fall, as much as I hate to say it, but it is what it is. It's coming in the fall. Let's pray the fall will be drier than the summer because that has really, really sucked.
Yeah, we just walked through my garden, and my tomatoes compared to last year, they're not even 5 feet tall.
I was like, how do I talk about this to Steve without like offending him? Because I'm like, dude, your garden looks horrible. compared to last year, you put the same effort in, but I'm telling you, it's too wet and not enough sun. Then when the sun comes out, it bakes everything because of the moisture. And except your sunflowers are
They're 12 feet,
yeah.
13 feet
Oh,
tall.
they're tall.
They're gigantic.
They are awesome. Like I was like, damn,
Which kind of
nice.
like contradicts the sun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so it's getting
weird.
sun, but the tomatoes that are right next to it aren't.
It's funny, the things like I didn't have much of a garden this year. I just had a few things in the front of the house that I planted in like a raised bed. But the best things I have is a pumpkin that I didn't plant like right on the corner of my pen where my cows are, and those look great. I mean, the pumpkins on there.
The leaves are
Like
beautiful. There's not a sign of any mildew or anything on them.
The source of nutrients is pretty high right there. It's literally where they shit right through there. But anyways,
Runoff.
there's that, and then where my bird feeder is by the window of my house, the birds have like picked at it and it's fallen. And I don't know, I've got like 15 little sunflowers there. I mean, they're like 3 feet tall. They're not as impressive as yours. I will definitely say those are badass. But and then I have a couple of like pumpkin plants have kind of come up, and then I actually had a corn next to my barn that apparently one of the rats that got into stuff.
One.
Yeah. So yeah, the best things that I've grown all year have been things I didn't plant at all. It was just nature doing its thing.
That's awesome, though. It shows that you don't have to do too much if the conditions are right.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, those are some positive things. Definitely next show we'll come back with some more, like some schedule stuff and some more events happening, coming up so that we can, inform the public of things. And those are like things we like to talk about. I definitely want to talk more about the New Hampshire Grand Families and some of the stuff that they do. We had them on the show, back earlier this summer. And so we really want to touch on all that stuff. And then we'll obviously do what we do anyways. We like to talk about controversial things and
all the conspiracies out there. There's a lot.
There's a list. You think we thought it was a big list before? It's much
There's
bigger.
a lot of craziness going on in this world. That,
yeah.
I don't know. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Believe it or consider it. Different. You're like, but if it is real, that's bad. If it's not real, then how the heck is these things occurring and happening and just craziness out there.
Yeah, definitely. Next show we'll talk about Maui, some in the fire out there. That's for sure, and some of the other crazy things happening. But in the meantime, thanks for watching the Tim and Steve show. Thank you to our sponsors, Beard Sewer and Drain, Sun Central Realty, and Twin State Paving. And we'll see you around town, and we'll see you next time on the Tim and Steve show. Have a good one.
Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, 'cause the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare.